Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to take a look in the Soulforge and tell you what I think is good and bad in there, what's worth crafting and what you should possibly avoid. Anyway, a chicken coop only has 2 doors. If it had 4, it would be a chicken sedan. My American audience will get that more than the British audience, but hey, I quite liked it. Anyway, let's take a look at this weekly glory troop. It is Tesla's engine. Create 3 bomb gems, then explode 4 gems and summon a random mech. Starts battles with 50% mana, gain 1 armor on 4 or 5 gem matches, and allied mechs gain 2 life. So nothing fantastic about that. It does have a guaranteed summon, which is nice, but there's no guarantee that though that spell on that mana gen is going to actually work for you. You can create those bomb gems, explode 4 gems, and actually not explode those 4 gems. You will get the mana from the exploded gems, of course, but it's possible you could set the enemy up to actually explode some gems themselves and actually benefit from those bomb gems which you created. So it's going to be a bit hit and miss on that troop, I think. 5 out of 10. Nothing fantastic, but always worth getting these to level 20 if you can, by taking it all the way up to Mythic and then ascending it and putting all the level on and stuff like that. So worth doing that. That's going to help your power level kingdoms in the long run. Whilst you're here, you can always grab some spoils of war as well. I always grab 10 of these every single week. It's a few more keys and a few more bits, always worth getting. Right, now let's jump into the Soulforge itself. Let's take a look at the weapons first. As ever, I'm going to only look at the weapons which are new here this week. All these ones which are here all the time are in my Soulforge Extra video, and I'll put that link in the description below. Lots of weapons here today. Cool. The good thing about picking up these weapons is, especially these cheap ones like 75 diamonds, is a lot of your kingdoms, the next power level, would be locked by something like you need so many weapons from this kingdom upgraded fully and things like that. It's a good chance to pick up a couple of cheap weapons maybe, so don't dismiss things like this just because they're cheap and you think you may not use it. Fire Sword deals magic based damage to the first enemy and deal triple damage if they use green mana, so possibly good against a green team that uses all green. Maybe in Guild Wars, if you're a newer player, this could be effective. Certainly worth a go. Nothing fantastic otherwise though. Mecha Axe deals magic based damage to an enemy boosted by mech allies, then creates a mix of 6 red and blue gems for each mech ally. Uses brown and yellow itself, so not going to self-charge, but make sure you have a couple of troops in your team which do use red and blue to benefit from all that lovely mana. Drill Shooter. Similar kind of thing. Damage to an enemy boosted by Adana allies this time, then create a mix of 6 red and yellow gems for each Adana ally. Uses green and blue, so again, does not self-charge. Make sure you use red and yellow troops to benefit from that mana. At least 2 of them, I'd say, for the rest of your team. Pistol of Adana. Remove all yellow gems with no effect. This is kind of the anti-Adana weapon. Then deal damage to them based on your magic boosted by gems removed, and if the enemy is from Adana or if the battle is in Adana, deal double damage. So effective in that situation, but very, very situational. All these other ones in the Soulforge Extra video, as I said. Doomed Opus. Not bad, very popular on Guild Wars days, dealing magic based scatter damage plus 4 per tempering level. Create a mix of 6 red gems and skulls for every red enemy and give 3 magic to all allies, and if the enemy has a doom, give 5 more. So this sort of thing will be popular on Guild Wars Red Day defense against those teams. Create the maximum amount of scald and death for the opposition. Engineer's Drill. Very good. I do love these explodey summony weapons. Explode magic plus 1 brown gems. Grant a random status effect to all mech allies, then summon a mech troop. So cool stuff there, I do like them. Mana gen, summon, status effects, very nice. Any others? Shock, of course, loads. Shock Hammer. I did a team on this when it first came out and it was actually surprisingly effective. Haven't actually used it since, but hey, choose a gem and destroy its column. Then create 6 bomb gems and deal magic based scatter damage. But you do need a troop afterwards, if I remember, which basically exploded bomb gems or done something similar, because then it's not going to actually destroy those bomb gems itself, so you want to actually cast this, then have something ready to cast straight after to destroy gems or explode the board, something like that, then it can be actually pretty effective. Room Gorge. Explodes yellow gems, grants a random status effect to all Adana allies, and summons a Adana troop. So another explodey summoning weapon, very good. 2 to pick from. Any of these are good. I do like this. Rune Gorge. Shock Hammer's just okay. Doom Damage Opus is good. There's some nice weapons here. I do like this Engineer's Drill. Use that quite often now. Right, on to the troops. Let's take a look. Nobody special in the summoning stones this week, apart from Todd Greenwood. Very, very nice indeed. Deals damage to an enemy, then creates 3 green gems boosted by Wargear allies. If you missed this Pathfinder the first time around, absolutely spend some of your summoning stones to pick this guy up. You can put it in a team of all Wargears and just loop and loop and loop. It's a bit of a game changer if you're a newer player to the game. A lot of the advantages a experienced player has is having more powerful troops, higher magic, doing more damage, that kind of thing. This does level the playing field massively. Todd Greenwood, Charles O'Donnell, Secret Darkwood, all absolutely good for this. It is repetitive, but it does give newer players a chance. You can just loop massively, endlessly with these things. And yeah, really good. Spend some of those summoning stones. Make sure you pick up Todd Greenwood. And Nobbin Brothers aren't bad either. That's another very good one. Gain an extra turn. And either eliminate a magic-based attack from an enemy or deal the same amount of damage to all enemies or explode a load of gems. Really good. Very good indeed. Certainly worth spending some summoning stones there. Anyway, onto the mythics first. Let's take a look and start from the bottom and work our way up. Piscea. Destroys all green gems with fuller effect, as if they were matched. Doesn't use green itself, but it does then create blue gems, which it does use, equal to the number of green gems destroyed. Then there are 2 independent 30% chances to devour a random enemy. So actually pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of the reliance on 30% chances to devour and things like that, but this thing in something like Guild Wars can surprise people because that's just the way the game goes sometimes. And you see devours in Guild Wars and it is scary because you just know the game has a habit of doing that sort of thing. So really good. A lot of fun, these kind of troops, when they work. Submerges itself when it takes damage. Can be good from hiding from those enemies that do damage to all. Reduce damage from skulls by 30% is good. And give 4 attack to all blue allies when matching blue gems is not bad because the spell helps that at the same time. So not bad at all. Unlike Shade of Zorn, who is absolute junk. Oh my god. Shade of absolute rubbishness. Deals an already rubbish amount of damage to an enemy, boosted by red allies and skulls. If the enemy dies, summon 2 Fists of Zorn. Now the boost ratio is ×4, so even with a lot of skulls and red allies, it's still not going to be a decent amount of damage. And you summon 2 Fists of Zorn, so you've already got to have lost 2 troops in your team to benefit from that. And that's only if the enemy dies when you hit him with that rubbish amount of damage. Yeah, he's a dummy. Might as well go roll with that. Damage. He causes damage because it's not very good. It's not damage, it's damage. Anyway, he is stealthy because no one wants to look at him because he's so useless. Undying, which is a shame because just get him out of there as quickly as possible, and gains 4 mana when he takes damage. Yeah, so he can actually cast his more useless spell. Oh, rubbish, honestly. Gaard's Avatar, still pretty effective this. I used this troop an awful lot when I first started playing a game. It was one of my early mythics. Absolutely loved using it. Still effective now. Deals what looks like a low amount of damage to all enemies, but it is boosted by his armor, a 2-to-1 ratio. So the higher your armor, the more damage you're going to do there. And then burn undead and silence daemon enemies. Gain 4 armor when an ally casts a spell is okay, but the traits are nothing particularly special overall. But Gaard's Avatar, still not too shabby, Sherlock. Death. Death marks all enemies and then deals scatter damage boosted by its life. So the more life you've got, the more that damage is going to be increased. The ratio is 2-to-1. My life is 104, so the boost would be 52. So what's that, like 116, something like that. It's okay, but the trouble is there's so many troops now either immune to death mark or so many ways of just cleansing your troops really quickly. It's not very effective at all, unfortunately. So not the best. Was that the fourth one? Yes, it was. So let's take a look at the legendaries ever so quickly. Yao Guai might as well be a mythic. It's absolutely superb. Deals a magic +2 damage to the first 2 enemies boosted by his life. Then steal 4 magic from both enemies. Then transform all purple gems to red. So you can actually see if you got a chance to repeat cast this, because this uses red and then can self-charge and do it again. Absolutely superb. As well as that, is immune to mana burn, mana drain and mana steal. So it pretty much gets that mana and keeps it. And steals 3 life from the first enemy when matching red gems, which again increases the power of his spell because the damage is boosted by his life. Absolutely superb troop. Just get it. I don't usually say craft legendaries, but Yao Guai is an exception. Just get Yao Guai. Absolutely fantastic. Queen Mab used to be really good in the early days, but sadly so many troops are now immune to mana burn and things like that. She's just not as effective as she used to be, even wearing that outfit. Mana burn all enemies, and if there are 13 or more blue gems, gain an extra turn. So yeah, it used to be good. Freeze a random enemy on 4 or 5 gem matches is okay, but yeah, unfortunately she's not quite the devastating troop she used to be in the early days. Crimson Bat deals decent amount. Magic blinking heck, hitting my words in a fuss today. Deals magic +1 true damage to all enemies and gains 16 life. Pretty good. Damage to all is good. You can hit stealthy opponents with that. Not too shabby at all. Deal double skull damage to wounded enemies is good. And deal double skull damage versus divine. Yeah, not too bad at all. Carnex. Create 5 skulls, then explode 10 skulls and gain a decent amount of armor. So you create those skulls, you explode skulls, you're going to guarantee some mana gen from that and possibly some damage as well. That's effective, and gain a bunch of armor. Not too bad. Impervious, very handy indeed, as is reduced damage from skulls, as well as add 25% of armor to skull damage. So the more you cast this, the more it increases its armor, it ends up doing more and more damage. So pretty decent. But that is it. Who gets my coveted, not Mythic of the Week? Well, it's certainly not going to be thingy, is it? Shade of Uselessness. Piscea is a bit random. Death is a bit not very good these days. And Gaard's Avatar, blimey, what a bunch. Ooh, if there was those 4 mythics left and I could only pick one and the other 3 disappeared from the game forever, who would I pick? Well, out of this little bunch, it's tight between Piscea and Gaard's Avatar, but I would just, by the skin of his nostrils and wonky teeth, give it to Piscea, just because it can be devastating in the correct team. Destroying all those green gems, charging up another green troop, for example, and then creating those blue gems, especially if there's a storm going, can be really effective. And if you get 1 or 2 of those devours, can make this troop pretty much unstoppable. So pretty good, not too bad at all, but yeah, not fantastic, but hey, we've got to pick someone this week. But there it is. There's my mythic of the week, and it is Piscea. If you enjoyed this video, why not bash that like and subscribe button? I'll be doing my world event team later on. Check back for that if you fancy it. But thanks for watching this one, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.